It's a huge time to start thinking about requalification for the tour. Julian Wilson, the headliner in this matchup, acting as a top seed, a former finalist here at the Hurley Pro, taking on two rookies on former big wave champ Pete Mel for the call. Always fun, Pete, to see who's going to take control of this first wave. It looks like the rookie, Goofy Foot from Australia, Ryan Callinan, wants it. Already through his second move, a little blow tail off the top of the lowers right. Nice controlled tempo and form until the finishing move. Is able to keep his deepest position on the peak to get the second ride of the matchup. Little blitz off the top, projection float. Nice energy through the inside corner and hacks it off the top. Very interesting finishing move, and he pulls it off, Pete.
He does, and he did that. And that's what's the one thing that's so good about Julian Wilson is his read.
Kanoa Igarashi now on his opener. Great connection to start. Absolutely flying down the line. Blows the tail out in the whitewater section, but you can tell he has so much momentum off that surfboard. Julian always putting together a solid effort in the world title race. Last year was one of his best years on tour, as we see what Ryan Callinan did to start.
Well, again, taking the first wave of the set, so there's a bit of ripple on the face, but it had a great line on it. It was giving him the opportunity to string a bunch of maneuvers there, but just that final maneuver would have been nice to be able to pull it off clean. He would have had the advantage. As we watch it, take a look again. So that connection with the lip, and then right here, you see how he just projects off that, keeping that momentum, flying down the line, and then drifts the fins. Actually, the board almost stopped in the lip, but he stayed in control and was able to ride out of it. Great work there from Julian Wilson. I would call advantage to him as we watch Kanoa carrying a ton of speed, a little bit bigger wave, but the wave, again, shuts down so quickly on the rights and not able to complete that third and final maneuver. Had he rode out of that, spotlight's just clear and bright on you, and he performed. He got some great waves and some really hollow conditions and some scary pipeline.
Thank you very much, Strider. Jordy Smith doing a great job to take control into the nines. A former event champ moving on to the next one. Tied for fifth on the Jeep leaderboard with this man, Julian Wilson. He's got a lot of flair down the line, attacking his sections. Winding up off the bottom, tail blow, reverse, a solid finishing move. Kind of taking the Jordy roll. Jordy had a warm-up wave.
Some power, some finesse, some innovation.
Now rookie Ryan Callinan winding up. Squares up, tight and vertically. Clean wrap, smooth in transition, big section to work with. Climbs it and stuffs the end section well. Stays on his feet and kicks out. Callinan's opener, 4.0.
In your score line at the end of this heat, so these guys are building a bit. Watching Ryan on this first, Ryan Callinan on his first maneuvers here. Nice and vertical, and there's approach there. That's always good, especially on your backhand. And then somehow was able to, like you said, stuff his final move in there. It's exactly what he did. It looked like he just plugged it in there, but he was able to ricochet off the back. Nice vertical approach. And it's good when he connects with the lip. I think that's something that shows the critical sections. That's that moment of degree of difficulty that you hear in the criteria. And then here, a little bit different on the forehand. Ton of speed being carried through those moves. See how low he gets to his board on his bottom turns? That helps him to time everything. Gives him actually more time because he can spring out of that move when he sees that section be at the perfect point which he wants to hit it. That's why it's so special from Julian to stay that low to the board.
Impressive performance from Julian Wilson.
Whatever that section may allow him to do. You know, he's got that tail slide nose blend. You know, again, just a gamut of all sorts of different types of airs.
What do you think he's capable of here at lower Trestles?
Oh, this is just such a perfect, arena for Ryan to really cut loose. If he just takes a deep breath and gets relaxed, I mean, we can really see him do some great things. It looks like the boys are having a look at this one. Julian Wilson up and riding. Just getting through that flat section. You can see that low bottom turn that he just winds up into that one. You can see just battling a little bit with that bit of crumble on the lip. Trying to find something on the inside here. Julian Wilson, another carving maneuver. Comes in for this inside crack and just bangs it off there. So, he's got to be stoked with that. And, right off the bat, Ryan Callinan up and riding on his backhand. I don't know, boys, it might be a bit tougher to surf this wave on your backhand at the moment with this bit of texture. I don't know what you guys think.
Thank you very much, Ro. Yeah, an exciting exchange seeing Wilson on the start, the goofy foot approach from Ryan Callinan with his back to the right-hand wall, and now they'll battle for that second priority. You can see Ryan paddling very quickly. He can see Julian Wilson in his peripheral. Know that second priority could be very important. Kanoa's out the back. He's already got the right away on the next set. But for this second decision, we'll follow Ryan to see if he will get honored with it. They'll keep paddling hard until the judges make the announcement. Let's get back to Julian's wave, Pete.
Well, that first wave of the set, definitely going to have more ripple, you know, and the waves are flat. No waves beforehand. The wind is able to texture the water almost all the way to the shore, and that's what happened here on Julian's wave. But he negotiated it well. You know, he knew it had a pretty good line, so he sacrificed the cleanliness of the face in order for the quality of the wave itself. So he's able to string off a ton of maneuvers. He was able to back up the 6.17. As you can see, Ryan's wave, a bit more smooth. You know, it had the white water there, which isn't totally key, but it actually was a little bit smoother. But I think I can understand why Rosie was saying that the backhand a little more difficult, because with those waves that are kind of mid-sized, they don't have a ton of juice, a ton of power. But look at that, the big blowtail reverse. I mean, that's the type of moves he's got to do and string together, backing it up with that big power snap that he has. And again, the finish. So he stays with this one, but it doesn't have a ton of juice, and he's a big dude. You know, he's got some weight to him. He needs a little bit of power and juice in the wave in order to make him surf with ease.
Just the second heat of this opening round of competition, and during that recap, these guys got a little bit active. Kanoa Igarashi took off on his third wave, Pete.
Well, and he had priority. He sat on it for a while now. Again, trying to get that first solid move, which he does. Gets a nice second move, and then here, the final gets that tail up and over the lip, throws it into reverse. Nice completed wave. I think this is going to be a wave that's going to put him right there in that same realm as that mid-range good score. As we watch Ryan finding a left, and of course he's going to go up and over and holds on to it. No, he doesn't. You know, he had the control almost there and then could not ride out of the bottom of the whitewater, so that won't really change his two-wave total. He's on Rosie's bowl, hoping to find one.
And let's see if it's going to work out for him. Kanoa's taking a look. Now he's going to hold back. Big section to work with for Ryan Callinan. It's going to be a messy one. He's down. He was hoping for a 5.91 out of that wave.
Well, now see, this is actually what it's done, is he kind of put Ryan into a situation where he felt like he needed to catch that wave. Now he sits in second priority. If the set comes, probably going to get an opportunity, because there'll probably be at least two waves in it.
Seeing Ryan go down, Harlan in the inside corner.
And you look at Kanoa, I'm sure the information is being relayed to both these surfers.
Now making a move, 1:14 to go. Julian Wilson with priority in the heat leader, trying to put this thing to bed. Big snap to start. One of the best bottom turns in the business, steps up that front side wrap, and he'll just carve through, but the wall's growing on the inside. Hits it right through the lip, attacking off the top. Here comes the carve. So a lot of variety, speed, power, and flow. Blowtail to finish. And Wilson is able to dry dock this one all the way down the beach. 45 seconds to go. He was looking to embetter a 5.97. Now the rookies are scrambling. Callinan is going to check out the left. Clear for takeoff. Ryan, tail blow off the top. Another big float. Needs something major on the inside. Carves through. End section will let him blow the tail into reverse. So under pressure, throws down a solid performance, and Kanoa was on the split.
Wow. All of them got great waves here at the end. Judges got some work cut out. You know, the left there from Ryan Callinan, shorter, but he had some high impact moves. Yeah, Kanoa Igarashi, nice drawn out long line. Here's Kanoa's wave. Starts off strong with a nice vertical off the top. Sets up these next turns there. Again, he had to cut that one short just to keep that momentum going down the line. That one a little bit looser, and gets the closeout moves. Nice climb of the whitewater there for a final finish. So again, judges have to look at this score. We also had Julian Wilson. Here's a take a look at Ryan Callinan first. That's that high impact first move. Rides backwards, gets a float, and somehow finds some open face again. Gets another arc, and gets the final finish move with a full reverse. So gosh, lots to think about here.
What a great final exchange, but just like you said, Pete, Julian Wilson got a screamer of a wave.
You'd have to say that Julian probably had the highest quality of wave. He also had the attention of the judges solely looking at him. No one else riding. Didn't have to do the chameleon where you're trying to watch Callinan and Kanoa at the same time, which is always tough to do. But I think Julian's going to improve here. I think it's going to be his best wave. So you'd have to say, am I going to put my neck out on the line
I
again?
love when you do it, Pete. Let's do it. I know where you're going with this.
I think you'd have to give it to Julian.
Julian Wilson looks like he will be improving on this final wave. Great job to get in position for a right that kept on giving. Nothing real radical or major, but he was finishing, kept his rail wet, and then that put the rookies in a tougher situation coming into that final exchange. So Wilson improving on a 5.97. The judges taking a couple of solid minutes just to rewind the tape. Now it's in. Wilson a 6.87 on his last. So Callinan needed a 6.82 on the left. Does that sound high for you, Pete, or is he in the conversation?
I think they're both in the conversation. Going to be strong enough now. Because now the score's in for Kanoa.
Kanoa Igarashi, a 7-point ride on his last, jumps into first. Wilson down to second. Now Callinan would need an 8.44 on that left.
Not going to be there. It's not going to go 8.44.
Very impressive finish from Kanoa Igarashi. His last two looks into the 7s when he was out of the rhythm in the first half of this matchup. The horn sounds. Last of Ryan Callinan, a 5.8. Not enough. The rookie, Kanoa Igarashi, steals one off Julian Wilson. Very impressive performance as we see him from behind pulling off a win to go right into round 3.